what's up you guys, my name is Swati and welcome back to my channel where if the book is nice we read it twice. Today I'm bringing you yet another episode of anticipated releases. So this is a new month. For the month of September there are quite a few releases that I'm interested in, and like always that I do on my channel, I want to share them with you guys so that you guys can also pick up the latest releases that tickle your fancy. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first book that I'm most excited to read this month is Holly by Stephen King. Holly Gibney is Stephen King's one of the most ingeniously resourceful character. When Penny Dial's daughter goes missing, he enrolls Holly against the depraved and brilliant adversaries Ronnie and Emily Harris, who has kept a home built with lining of books in their basement. So this is not the kind of book where you are trying to find out the perpetrator. This is the kind of book where you know who the person is, but you want your team to win against them. The next book is The Scene of Crime by Gilly Gagnon. Now in this book, an ambitious scriptwriter tries to solve her disappearance of her friend by recreating the final girl trip in a remote winery. So there is remote winery, there is a missing girl, and there is a lot of sour grapes in this mystery thriller. The next murder mystery that I want to talk about is Suddenly a Murder by Lauren Munzo. Now in this book, a group of 7 try to recreate a 1920s themed party where everybody pretends and plays a role till one of them is murdered. So close circle isolated mystery where it is very ambitiously said Knives Out meets One of Us is Lying. Another mystery I'm interested in this month is Murder Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simone. This is a light-hearted whodunit about a grandmother, mother and daughter trio who are amateur sleuths. So think Gilmore Girls but with murder. There are a lot of references of Gilmore Girls in the list of books, and I am very happy with it because it is one of my all-time favorite binge watch series. The next one I want to talk about is Sleep No More by Shannon McGuire. It is October day number 17, so I will skip the synopsis. But I would say Shannon McGuire is one of the best writers out there who is prolific, and this is a urban fantasy from her pen. The next book I want to talk about is Black Sheep by Rachel Harris. Vesper Wright's family asks her to leave the family home and her staunchly religious community. An envelope arrives on her doorstep, which is invitation to her cousin sister's Rosie's wedding, and she is invited. Now is this the olive branch or a trap? So this is well-claimed horror author, cultish religious community, and how a person can be trapped by its own family. So this sounds interesting. Let's go to the next one. Next one is much anticipated Mona Award's new release, which is called Rouge. It is a horror tinted gothic fairy tale where Snow White meets Eyes White. Bella is obsessed with skin and skincare videos. When her estranged mother dies in mysterious circumstances, Bella finds herself entrapped in the dark world of culty spa to which her mother was devoted to. So this is a story about vanity and there is horror element in it. I can't wait to read this one. The next is a shift from the general tone of these picks for September. This is a romance book, but it is a witchy romance book. It is Enchanted to Meet You by Meg Cabot. A plus-size witch partners with a stranger who's very handsome in order to protect her village from outwardly forces. So sounds like any other witchy book that you may find, and I hope it delivers on the fun time that it projects. Now let's come down to few anthologies. There are a lot of anthologies happening in this month that I'm interested in, and this is the first one of them. If you have seen my TBR video, you have seen that I have dedicated this month for dark academia books. So there is a Dark Academia anthology out there coming out on 12th of September, which is In This Hallowed Halls, a Dark Academia anthology. We even have Emil Rio and Olivia Blake as contributors in this anthology. Next anthology I want to talk about is edited by A.S. King. These are stories about remarkable people who have strange and surprising collections. The next anthology is a fun and fearless anthology of feminist tales, and Margaret Atwood is one of the contributors. It is The Furies. The next is second volume of the Untold Legend series, and this is Mermaids Never Drown, a tale to dive for. So likewise, the first was Vampires Never Get Old, and this is the second one, 14 YA short stories about mermaids. These are all the anthologies I'm interested in. Let's get back to our book lineup. Next is Your Lonely Nights Are Over by Adam Seuss. Scream meets Clueless in this YA queer horror book in which two gay teenagers, BFFs, find their friendship tested when a serial killer starts targeting a school's queer club. The next book I want to talk about is What Stalks Us by Sarah Hallowell. Two best friends trapped in a con maze finds two cops which look just like them. Horror and YA selection, I'm here for it. The next book I want to talk about is The Debt I Gave Them by M.X. Lu, a lyrical queer sci-fi retelling of Shakespeare Hamlet as a locked room isolated mystery. Next book I want to talk about is Mammoth at the Gate. Now this is number 4th in the Singing Hill Cycle series by Nevo, which has won the Hugo and Crawford Awards for the best series. Now this is again number 4 entry, so I'm not going too much into the synopsis. I don't want to spoil the previous books, but this is something that everybody who reads it loves, and it is bite-sized and extremely digestible. Now number 4th in Thursday Murder Club series is The Last Devil to Die. Again, it is a very acclaimed million copies seller Richard Osman's mystery series, where this one is the 4th book to come out. Now there is another witchy book that I'm very interested in. This is The Unfortunate Side Effect of Heartbreak and Magic. Listen to this. Practical magic meets the Gilmore Girl in this witchy novel. So all the best ingredients, the magic is in the air, and that's why we're reading so many witchy books, and the Gilmore Girl is the best reference for the fall. The next book I want to talk about is Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter. A cold case, a fictional 2-crime story, a family caught in the middle, 6 episode, 1 killer. So this explains very little, but I'm still here for it. There will be 6 true crime reenactment of a cold case, and a family is involved which entangles together in a beautiful 6 episodes. The next, another most anticipated one coming from pen of Chuck Wendick. It is Black River Orchard. A small town is transformed by dark magic when few strange trees begin to bear apples, which has magical powers and starting off a new horror story. So these magical apples make the eater all powerful, but also screws their mind. So we have to read this one to find out what actually Chuck Wendick has up his sleeve. The next one is Knock Knock Open Wide by Neil Sharpson. Horror and Celtic myth come together in a supernatural tale of family bond, strange kept secrets, and a thin veil that guides the Irish family. The next book I want to talk about is the latest installment in Percy Jackson. It's been a decade since the last book came out, and now we want Percy to go to college against the will of gods. So the hero from the Lightning Thief are reunited for their biggest challenge yet, and I am here for it. The book is called The Chalice of God. The next book I want to talk about, it's a Lisa M. Matlin book. It is The Stranger Upstairs. A social media influencer with a secret past buys a old house to renovate, but it is a murder house, and finds herself swept away in more than she could have bargained for. It is a psychological horror and I am very interested in this. The second last book I want to talk about is The Fragile Thread of Powers by V.E. Schwab. The V.E. Schwab is author of The Invisible Life of Adil Haru, and this is the next story arc in the magical world of The Darker Shade of Magic, where there are different shades of London, and I won't go on explaining what they are, but I would say this is a good point to jump in, or maybe read The Darker Shade of Magic and then come to this one, because her V.E. Schwab's world building is amazing. The book's name is The Fragile Thread of Power. Last book I want to talk about is, we are still in the spooky season, but the book is coming out this month, so I had to mention this. This is Peter Swanson's next novella. It is The Christmas Guest, where Ashley Smith, an American student in London, is called upon by her classmate to spend Christmas with her parents in their family mansion. So what goes wrong? We have to read this one to find out. This is The Christmas Guest. So those were all the anticipated books I wanted to talk to you about this month. I have kept the synopsis brief and short so that instead of me boring you, you can filter out all the books that you found interesting and then read the synopsis on Goodreads. Please like and subscribe if you like what I do over here. Comment right down below which are the books are you most intrigued about in this season of September. And I will see you with another video soon. Bye bye.